Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with theblogtoread.com. This is the Cartier Roadster S, part of Cartier's new entry-level luxury watch collection. A lot of people are very familiar with the Cartier Roadster. Very popular watch, been in the line for a long time. And this is the S, a slightly smaller, well there's a mid-sized Roadster, so let's not go with smaller, but it's not, this is a mid-sized watch. Some slightly more basic features, but still has a lot of that sort of Cartier goodness that people are expecting and is a very attractive watch. The steel case comes with two different types of bracelets. This is the rubber strap, and there's also a metal bracelet. The metal bracelet's interesting because you have a situation with, and you can see it here in the rubber, but it'd be same in metal, sort of thin, long links, which look very interesting and are quite unique among metal bracelets where the links usually aren't as long, and it's an interesting look. It kind of elongates the bracelet, so you can see this one I believe is about 20 millimeters thick, but on the metal it looks thinner just because the links are so long. It sort of visually elongates it. The metal one's a little bit more classy, and this one on the rubber is sportier. There's another difference between the metal bracelet and the rubber, and that is the bezel. And you can see in here it's black. It's actually coated in something called ADLC, which is a slightly different version of applying DLC, which is diamond-like carbon. Very nice application of the black. It has a brushed finish next to the polished steel. Looks good. Now, going back to the original Roadster, there's a couple of interesting design elements which aren't exactly here or just hinted at. The original Roadster had an interesting sapphire crystal lens over the date window, which created this interesting sort of unified bullet look with the crown. And you can see here on the dial, there's this shape around the date window, which sort of visually reminds you of that, but this is a sapphire crystal that does not have that at all. The crystal is actually a little bit curved with the case, but it does not have that large window there, and that's again one thing that makes it a little bit inexpensive. The date window, I love this so much, is on a black disc with a silver font. That looks just really nice on this type of dial. I like it a lot. The watch is really quite comfortable, and the strap fits comfortably. It's pretty easy. I'll get back to the strap in a second there. You can see the size of that. Even though it's about 46 millimeters wide, that is because the crown is so long like that. The watch is a tonneau shape. So on my wrists, which aren't too big at all, this is a very mid-sized watch. A lot of people that are like that, good for youth. This is a good, sort of like person's first Cartier, or someone who wants kind of a sportier Cartier, because Cartier is not exactly known for sport watches. The dial here goes away from the traditional Cartier look. It does not have blued steel hands. You have lume-colored hands with black edges around them, which are a little bit different, and it's not super easy to find luminant on Cartier hands, although it's not exactly uncommon. Of course, you have the Roman numerals that Cartier is known for, as well as the design elements on the dial, which are well done. There's a little bit of these lines around here. So the dial isn't exactly textured, but it has these concentric, almost circular lines where the Roman numerals are. They're nice. Reading the watch is not too hard actually, because you have this sort of horseshoe shape ring here, which is supposed to be kind of circular. It's oblong, which makes reading the watch okay. It's been difficult for me in the past to read certain Cartier watches, especially the Santos, because it's square and it has the Roman numerals, but this one isn't bad at all. Inside is an automatic movement. Cartier calls it, I believe, their caliber 49, but it is a Swiss ETA automatic, probably a 2892. The crown has lost a cabochon. A lot of more high-end Cartier watches have some type of a blue cabochon or some type of inset jewel in the crown. This one does not. It just sort of has a steel crown. Watch is easy to read, easy to operate, happy with it. Going to the bracelet, a couple of little quips. Now, one thing I do like is you see here the rubber, it tucks in on both ends, so you can adjust the clasp, this sort of fold-over clasp. It's what's called a tension clasp, meaning that you just sort of click it in position. The problem with that is that you hit the watch the wrong side, something like that, and the clasp is going to open up. That's happened to me a couple of times. Now, a lot of Cartier watches do this. They like tension clasps. So while it is well made, it is what it is, and I wouldn't call it a a sport watch, because a sport watch needs to be a little bit more secure. Another little thing is that if you pull on this enough, or if you wear it enough, this loosens up. It's literally just bent over and tucked. There isn't anything really securing the strap. So from time to time, what you're going to have to do is sort of pull it back into position. Again, these issues aren't exactly on the metal bracelet, but the metal bracelet, I believe, is also just a tension clasp, meaning it just sort of clicks like that, but there's nothing actually holding it. Not really big issues, but something you should know. Again, these are vestiges from the fact that Cartier is sort of a formal, classy watchmaker, and that sort of these sports elements aren't really something that they're used to. So this is sort of more of a sport-themed watch. The case is water resistant to 100 meters, so you can go swimming with it and things like that, and it should be fine. The back of the case is screw down. It's got the name of the watch there. It says Roadster. It doesn't say Roadster S, which I think is actually kind of interesting. You'd think they put an S on there, but that's a little thing. Pricing for this watch is about $4,200 on this rubber strap and $4,600 on the steel bracelet. These are available at Cartier boutiques, other places like that. So if you want a less expensive version of the Roadster or something a little bit different, this is a nice model. I particularly like this sort of ADLC coating here on the bezel. Again, that type of bezel is not on the version with the steel bracelet. Again, this is the Cartier Roadster S. You can see the full review at ablogtoread.com. Thanks.